Hey everyone, welcome to the sixth episode of Anoni. I'm your host Kazuki, and with me is my co-host Ai. And on this episode, we will talk about our most memorable mangas. To start, I'll pass it on to Ai to talk a bit about his favorite titles, or at least most memorable titles to date.
Okay, so for me, favorite titles would be very common. Start off with Hunter x Hunter, followed by Waymore, and then currently running series Kingdom.
Oh, I think I've seen snippets of Kingdom.
Yeah, it's a Three Kingdom style story.
Is it historical or
It could be fictional. I mean, Three Kingdoms is also fictional, quote unquote.
much? I think for my titles, I have Ooku, Tenko Shimpan, and then something lighthearted like Horimiya. Yeah, and then
I have not
there's also
read any of
there's
those.
also like Attack on Titan, but it's been a while since I touched the manga.
Yeah, I stopped reading the manga and then I just started reading again a few months ago just to finish it up.
Oh, did you finish it already?
Not yet because the last chapter is still not out. They're holding it,
Oh, are they holding it for?
so they will. Yeah, for the anime before they release the anime, they released the manga.
Interesting. How many chapters has it been? Like I've lost a lot. Lost track.
Around 149, something.
Mm. Okay, so what about for your most memorable mangas? Tell us about the titles. What the story is about, what you like about them, and why would you recommend it?
Okay, so let's start off with Hunter x Hunter. So Hunter x Hunter is a very typical story of a teenage boy who chooses to travel the world to look for, in this case, his father, that who is a veteran hunter. Along the way, he made friends, made enemies, and challenges. Yeah, I don't know how can I not spoil that, but the gist is that he is kind of airhead, and challenges are presented in a way that he needs to overcome it with his friends.
That's for Hunter x Hunter.
That's for Hunter x Hunter. And another one is Claymore. So Claymore is a story of a young female named Claire. Basically, he is a former human who has been experimented by an organization which, quote unquote, create female warriors. And then Claire is one of those recruits, quote unquote. And then, yeah, Claire grows up battling this yokai or these monsters that's been like infesting the the citizen of this world or the continent. So yeah, there are serious spiral in the story. So yeah, turns out that most of their friends are their enemies, and the real enemy is not something they actually could fight with. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And for Kingdom, Kingdom is about, so it's a three kingdom esque story. The story focuses on Shin. Shin is this teenage boy who is a slave that he worked his way up to the ranks in the military until he gained the rank of general. Yeah. So when Shin was a kid, he has this friend or a brother like figure, and then the kid was adopted by the prince, and then that's how the story starts. Um, the friend got killed, and Shin was pulled into this spiral of politics that he needs to find a way to get out and to survive.
So basically, like a Game of Thrones, but Eastern version, or no, or like with the
Oh no,
politics and all that.
the politics kind of, but it's not the focus of the story.
Okay,
It focuses on Shin's military achievements and exploits.
okay.
Yeah, so it's basically a warring state, and Shin is one of those generals that being sent out to do an expedition or a um, conquering wars.
Okay, gotcha. So, like, who would you recommend these mangas to? Like, what kind of demographic? Like, what could people expect, or who would like it?
Probably since the manga is shonen, probably teenage boys.
Mhm.
But um, Claymore is a very good recommendation for girls as well, since it's the characters are mostly female,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's a story with very dominant female characters. So there's a lot of that. Yeah. Um. So is Hunter x Hunter, but Hunter x Hunter focus on the character Gon. So even though there are strong females in the story, they are not like spotlighted as the ones on Claymore.
Mm-hmm. And then Kingdom, is it more for a mature audience, or would it be like?
For Claymore, it will help if you're a mature person,
Mm-hmm.
because it's more of a mind games, since a lot of politics, a lot of military strategy,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of strategy, and yeah, um, what else is there? Um, Conspiracy against their own kingdom, things like that. Yeah.
So for hmm, anymore, I feel like is there an anime adaptation of that?
There is, but the anime is far off from the manga,
Mm-hmm.
since the anime ended before the actual manga ends, years before.
Mm, I see. Mm.
So yeah, yeah. There's a different story between the manga and the anime.
Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar.
It is.
Yeah, and then Hunter is also an anime, I think, right?
Yes, that's
But
right. There's a two version of it, like 2007 and the 2011.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't even know that there was a 2011 one.
Yeah. The 2011 version is the streamlined version of it.
But it's the same story though. They didn't look really
Same story. Yeah.
okay. And then Kingdom doesn't really have an anime adaptation.
There is a one season, I believe, or two, but it's really bad.
Oh,
CGI is really bad. So
really?
I yeah, I just suggest you read the manga.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Well, for my list, I have Ooku, The Inner Chambers. So it's a complete series, and the plot is basically an alternate history, fictional history, wherein there's this disease that they call the red pox, if I recall correctly, that affects mostly
Okay.
males of the population. It got to a point where it was killing a lot of people, and since most of them are males, it became a threat to the shogunate. So what happened was um, the shogun, who is now actually the female because the male heir I think died from the
Oh,
pox.
cool. Okay.
So the female is acting as a male shogun, and the thing was the inner chambers is basically a harem of men serving the now female shogun, and their main purpose is simply to provide a male heir. That was
Okay.
the main reason for it. And outside of the shogunate, nobody knows about this inner chamber. For all the probably the most rumor that comes out of it, it's they're all females serving the male shogun or whatever. But the
I
purpose
see.
was for the shogun to produce a male heir eventually. And the most interesting part of it is, I guess, the inner politics as well, and it kind of showcases what life behind the palace is like, and how hard it is to navigate between um, the the inner politics between the shogun and the other leaders of the time,
I
since
see.
there's also
Yeah.
feudal it's also a feudal era, and there's competition within the inner chambers because of course whoever like becomes the favorite gets benefits and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the shogun eventually had a I think a daughter, if I recall.
Is this an ongoing series?
It's already completed. It's already completed, and it's
Oh, I see.
really
Okay.
very interesting because I think the main lead male was whom the shogun actually fell in love with, but he wasn't able to really give her an heir. So I think she eventually had a baby with somebody else, but you know the first love was this guy, but he ended up becoming a monk when she passed on. And
Okay. Okay.
well, spoiler alert, eventually the disease was managed using medicine at the time, kind of like immunizations, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the journey to there is interesting because of all the things that,
The
yeah,
politics.
not just the politics, but also they were worried that if the outside world found out that Japan was losing its male population, that it would be easier for neighboring countries to invade. So they have to keep up the pretenses that they have this pool of men still. So that's
Yeah.
when they kind of tried to insert. That's when all these brothels sprouted up, just to encourage um, mating and producing heirs, and that women dressed as men and worked in the fields and all that. And then they
Okay.
also explained that's why they closed their borders
Oh, okay, okay.
to
I understand. Okay.
to foreign visitors, just so they can keep the secret until they can figure it out. And then all the while they are trying to protect, like the daimyos are trying to protect their lineage by having, as many wives, and also protecting their sons from the pox. And a lot of kids actually like died. Like a lot of the sons like actually died. And
I
so
see.
eventually you'd have families where they're led by females acting as males and all that. And it's kind of interesting. And then eventually it reverted back to how it was at the end of the story, and everybody was made to forget that part of the history. Kind of just they just wrote it off as this actually never happened, and there was never a female shogun, and it was all just males. So it's kind of had a like really cool alternate history thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. It feels sad that they had to forget it in the end. So
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe it's just me, but
but it's a really good read, and I think they also had turned it into a Japanese television drama. I'm not sure. I think I remember there's a live action film,
hmm.
and then I think it also the manga also like won a special prize, something. So it was a really interesting read.
I
Then
see. I see. Okay.
the other one is Horimiya. Horimiya has an anime adaptation currently, and it's a light-hearted rom. I'm not sure if it's a. I think it's a rom com for me, and it's about two characters who there's Hori, and then there's Miyamura, and Miyamura is the guy who has um two kind of identities that he likes to keep separate. So there's his shy persona at school, and then there's this really cool tattooed guy with piercings at
Okay.
home that,
Hmm.
and he works at I think a cafe, or I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. And his classmate kind of found out about it, and I think she has like this tiny crush on his alternate, and the shenanigans just go from there. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to follow the full manga because my subscription ended for the the
Oh,
the, the place where I was getting the manga from.
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
But I'm looking forward to seeing it on the anime, and hopefully I'll find a way to continue series again. And the third one I
Yeah.
think is High Rise Invasion, is or Tenko Shimpan, which is Tenko Shimpan is it started with this high school girl ending up on the rooftop of a skyscraper, I think, or a high rise. And then she seemed alone. There are no doors leading down, no elevators.
Hmm.
There is a fence, but there's also like an opening, and the opening leads to a hanging bridge, and the hanging bridge leads to another rooftop of a nearby skyscraper or a nearby building.
Okay.
And she was alone, and she tried to call people, but there was nobody, and it's just her. And then she saw this other person from across in a different building, and they kind of just jumped to their deaths. And at that point, I think in the manga it explained that the only way you can survive is either you exit by committing suicide, or you you try to survive. But survive what is the question? Because that's all you have, is you're stuck up
Okay.
there. There's no stairs, there's no elevators, just bridges that connect buildings. And so she finally,
So everything happened on a
yeah,
rooftop.
she just woke up on top of a rooftop all alone. And she doesn't remember how she got there, and she doesn't see anyone, and she couldn't contact anyone. And then finally, she was able to get a hold of her brother on the phone, and fortunately he was also in the same predicament, but I guess he came first, and so he was guiding her and telling her what to do. So she needs to like
Okay.
meet him at the tallest tower, which is in like in the middle of the city, and it's a bit of a ways far ahead. And he told her to watch out for people with masks. And so she encountered the first person with a mask that I think was holding a chainsaw or something. So her brother told her that their role is not to kill, their role is to drive people to make that choice for themselves, like to jump off or something, to like lose hope and like just leap
Okay.
off the building. That's the main goal of the people in the mask. But they always have a weapon with them, which is weird. So she was chased by the chainsaw guy, and I think sometime she was able to defeat him with the help of somebody else. So all throughout the manga, she's been hopping from one building to the other using the drawbridge, and each time she either encounters a masked figure like guarding there that would try to force her to either jump or retreat or just kill herself, like so many others have done. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
she also made friends, I think, with other survivors like her. And eventually you find out that, okay, spoiler, the masks are actually controlling the people. So
Oh.
so her
Okay.
brother, I think at some point they were able to make contact again. And the goal was you don't get captured because once they put the mask on you, you kind of get programmed to do what they're doing. And then if somebody breaks the mask, you're programmed to self-destruct. So you kind of like you're forced to jump off. So there's really no escape. So
Yeah. You
yeah.
did it already.
Yeah. So their goal is to get into the main building and try to see if there's like an end game there or some solution. I think.
I see.
Yeah.
So how much of this are survivors? Like, how many survive in this game?
I haven't finished reading it, but there's there's a protagonist, her brother, I think another blonde girl or something, and a few people, even a little boy. And then there's a masked guy that was a sniper. And the weird thing is,
Uh huh.
even though he's wearing a mask, he seems to be able to resist it, which is he's one part of the mystery that hasn't been fully explained yet. You kind of want to keep reading to know like whose side is he on, because he's helping her,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's snippets in the manga where he's trying to fight, trying to wrestle control from the mask. So yeah.
I see. I see. Okay.
Yep. And then see what else. Yeah, it's just interesting to see how the characters adapt and break down from the different threats. Because eventually, even without the masked people, there's actual people who are trying to like kill them or harm them. So it's like a survival of the
Yeah.
fittest thing. Yeah.
So yeah. So for you, who do you think is the target audience for this series?
This one, I would say, I mean, both male and female. I mean, it's a very appealing. You got appealing characters for both, and then I think teens and an older audience will also appreciate it, if only because of there's violence, of course, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but
Is this the gory type of anime action or?
it's not so much the gore as the I think just the amount of deaths, and then there's always that element of suicide and harm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting because it's a new take, and I want to know how they got there and who's orchestrating all of it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So what else? We do have our three memorable mangas each, anything that you have seen lately that seemed to pick your interest, like with mangas?
Manga. Um, there are a few manga that I'm still reading, but they are still on break or hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if they're gonna continue. But one would be Brick Blade. It's a story about a this person who is in the world of magic could not cast a magic, and he was able to found this ancient golem, which allows him to pilot it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in our eyes, it could be like a modern machinery, but for them, it's like an ancient tech that could not be explained. That it's being used without magic, things like that. Yeah. So yeah, Brickblade is currently on a break, so I'm not sure if when will that continue back, but it's a good story. Um, It's an action series with a bit of romance on the side, so it's not very appealing to most, probably.
Mm-hmm. But it's still interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's but yeah, for me, it's interesting what will happen to the world rather than what will happen to the characters.
Yeah, still trying to find. I mean, I don't know if you people would know, but I'm still trying to find the title to this manga that I've read like more than 5 years ago, where the protagonist has he just looks scary, but he really isn't. But because he looks scary, he's often mistaken as a delinquent. So he gets into a lot of trouble and into a lot of fights. And all he really wants to do is
Okay,
make friends. I think as
what's the story?
I can't remember the title. I wish I did. But that's what I'm trying to find. This the title of this story. What else? What other manga? I know I've read Gantz as a manga, and I like it more than the adaptation.
Yeah, manga is always better
Mm-hmm.
for most part.
Yeah. What else? What about mangas that you would like to check out that you haven't yet? Have you ever
There's a lot.
like?
No, I want to get into Ghost in the Shell,
Oh,
but I could not for some reason.
you could not because
Oh, what else?
you don't have.
I don't know. It's just the world does not appeal to me.
Okay.
Yeah. What else?
Let's see.
Berserk. Berserk is something I also want to try, but I can't.
You know what? I haven't. I want to try that too. I keep seeing it, and I feel like I think I would like it if I just had the time.
And what else? Fist of the North Star. I also want to try that one.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, I have not able to find a copy yet, so I have not.
Really? Not even on like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I'm not trying hard. I'm just seeing if it's available. But if it's not, it's not. I'm not really going out of my way to find the manga.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't. I think I've tried the first episode of this of the North Star, and it just
Hmm.
it's
Okay.
interesting, but I didn't get into it. Maybe because of the time period. Like if
Probably.
I probably saw it like if I was younger or way back then when that similar style appealed and the
Yeah.
storyline seemed new. Yeah. I think for me, I want to read Akira.
Oh yeah, yeah. Same. Haven't tried it yet.
Yeah. I think I have the first volume. I just haven't cracked it open yet. I really should get to that. Yeah. Akira, and then 20th Century Boys. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
No idea. No.
yeah, that one is also kind of like well, not really post-apocalyptic, but it's a group of friends that I think they made a promise or something when they were kids, and then when they were adults, they were haunted by this
Yeah.
one person, something to do with their past, but it's a pretty cool trippy one. There is a live. I think I wanted to read it because of the live action. It's just
Okay.
interesting. What other manga? Blade of the Immortal. I wanted to read that. I think I've ever read it.
I tried, but I did not able to continue. Probably I drop off on chapter 3 of the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the concept that he is immortal, I don't know. That's not appeal to me that much.
What else seems for mangas? What appeal to you the most? Is it just shonen, or is there like a
Good world building. Yeah.
so,
It's the reason why I got into Hunter x Hunter and One Piece. Yeah, their art style not the best, but the world building like another level.
Oh, okay. So you're more of into the stories than
Yeah,
the actual art. And I think that's
than the actual characters. Yeah,
And I think that's pretty much like one of those really good standards is to have is to give the story a higher weight than the actual just
yeah.
drawings. I think for me, I prefer slice of life, like slice of life. What else? A bit of shonen here and there, but yeah, mostly slice of life. Actually, I got to one stage where all I'm looking for are slice of life with kind of music involved, just for
Okay,
something different. So there's
a manga about music.
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I don't know. How do you appreciate that?
No, I mean like the story within it. Like you have Beck, you have
Okay, okay.
Nana. You know how bands formed.
Oh, I see. Nana. Yeah. I, I'm imagining more like a K-on manga. So,
Oh,
how would you like?
yeah.
Yeah,
You won't have actual music coming out of your manga. That would be something. If I start
exactly. Yeah,
hearing music instead of like reading words, that means
yeah.
something. I must have eaten a few too many mushrooms or something. Mm. And then there's this really cool one. I'm trying to remember if Detroit Metal City, not Death Metal City, Detroit Metal
Oh
City.
yeah, that's an old one. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it really funny. Mm,
I have not read the manga, but I've seen few of its episodes.
yeah, is. I find it funny. That and Beck and Nana and there's another one that I also forgot.
How about Beck?
Yeah, Beck. Beck is really good. Else. There's also horror. Probably not so much. But I think the last
So
horror that's actually can be considered horror was Tokyo Ghoul. That was way back then.
is Tokyo Ghoul considered horror?
I don't know, but for me it was at the time when it first
Okay.
when it first came out. I'm like, this is kind
Yeah.
of kind of
Yes, when you say horror, first comes to mind is more like Junji
yeah.
Ito
I was about to say
types
that.
of series. Yeah.
Like those really grotesque. Oh man, he's got some really weird stuff.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the Mushishi? Some of those are definitely horror.
I don't. Which one?
Mushishi?
I feel like why is that familiar?
There's an anime here.
Is that the one where he's this guy walks around and dispels, or he's like a spirit seer?
Yeah. That's one of the series. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the series. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen like an episode or two. I think it's really interesting. I need to get back to that. Mushishi, yeah. What else for? What about mecha manga? You ever tried that?
I don't know. I don't usually read mecha on manga because I could not appreciate the mecha on a manga that much.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. But Brick Blade could be considered a mecha, kinda,
Mm.
or probably.
See what else. Trying just to remember other mangas. Oh, there's always Attack on Titan. Jack,
Attack on
I
Titan.
haven't.
I want to try Rent a Girlfriend manga.
Really, what
But
is it
I'm not
about?
sure. It's about this app that you could rent a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it turns out that the girlfriend that the MC hired was one of her classmates. I forgot the story, but someone that is familiar to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But they don't know. Both of them don't know that.
they know,
Or
and then it happens that they meet more people via an app. So they're kind of there could be like 3 or 4 more rental girlfriends on this story.
okay, I see.
It's complex dynamic. And
Okay. Hmm. I don't think I've. Um, Trying to see if there's anything that I would take my memory. Oh, I think I found it. It's the title of that delinquent thingy is it okay to love you is the translation, but it's Kimi ni koishite ii desu ka? Or Kimikoi. Kimikoi. Yeah, so it's just about a boy that's uh he has the face of, well, not an actual demon, but he just looks like he's always looking for trouble. And so he always gets into fights, and his teachers hate him, his classmates hate him. And then there's this girl that he wants to befriend, but she's super scared of him, I guess. And even though he tries to be
yeah,
nice, she always looks like she's about to cry whenever he tries to talk to her. So he just sort of like admires her from a distance, but it's funny how their friendship develops in the manga. I gotta find
I
the
see.
title.
Wait, is Kimiko the name of the manga? Because the one I'm looking at is APL.
No, Is It Okay to Love You?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm looking at Kimiko, which is a
Nikoi.
BL.
Um,
Could be,
it
could
could
be
be
a
like it
different
could be
manga.
like a dojin.
Yeah.
And this is the episode where we fell into the rabbit hole because um the Kimikoi is just a shortened version, but I don't think that's the actual title. It's Kimi ni koi shite ii desu ka? Is it okay to love you? Oh, it's by Kimikoi. So the author is Kimikoi, not
Oh,
okay. Now that clears things up. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so there's that. What else? I think there's Lovely Complex also, but I think I mentioned that as an anime before. What else for manga? There's it's that's pretty dark. I don't think there's the
which one?
I think the title is I Am Alive, and it's a post-apocalyptic zombie um manga. And it's just a little bit more base. I mean, with a what happened is this I think this mangaka came home one day and found that that his roommate or somebody when he came home the world started to there was this infection I guess that was turning people into zombies and whatnot and he survived and he I think started to escape through the forest or something where he met this high school girl and she was about to
Yeah.
like I think commit suicide for a different reason or something and he's trying to explain that the world has turned to this now full of zombies and whatnot so he's trying to help her survive and I think she got bit. I forgot, but at some point I think she did and
Oh,
they were trying to I forgot what they did to like slow it down or something. But it's a really weird zombie apocalypse manga, but I don't know why I couldn't stop reading it. It was like I was just watching this really super normal guy. There's really he's not really funny or anything. Just super well not really a loser. He's kind of mediocre with everything. Just
yeah.
surviving this apocalypse with this high school girl whom we eventually developed feelings for, which is weird because I think she kind of returned it, but also at the same time, there's this weird
Hmm.
age gap, and then it just turned into like just finally, I think just the two of them surviving for a long while before they met other people. And then
Kind of remind me of I Am Hero.
I Am Hero. Yeah, that's the one, not I Am Alive. What the hell? I am so sleepy.
Wait,
I
what?
Am Hero. Yeah, that is the one,
Is it?
not I Am Alive. I am so not alive right now. I am so sleepy. I am so, yeah, I Am Hero is what it is. Have you read it?
I've seen the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I Am Hero is what it is. Oh, God. Yep, I don't know how they did, how the movie went. So I'll have to look at that to see.
No, the movie went okay. It's like a comedy.
Yeah.
horror comedy.
Yeah. Very
Is
dry humor though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
So there's that. I'll have to check out the movie then. It was funny, but it was like very, I don't know if I should be laughing at that. But yeah, I gotta check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't finished the manga for that one yet, but yeah. E. I was wondering where was I getting I'm alive? I am hero. I just remember the first two words.
I
I
am.
am. Oh my
Or
gosh. And
you
then
could go with I am. What's the Will Smith movie again?
I am
I am
legend.
Legend or something.
I am legend.
Yeah.
I am a hero. Okay. Yeah, there's just so many mangas right now that it's hard to pick one.
Yeah.
See what other mangas? There's that other one that had I only saw it in passing, I think, and it had like ginormous floating fish inside a city eating people. Is it goldfish? Fish?
Uh,
I can't remember what it was. All these weird mangas. I think the weirder they are, the more appealing they become. But anyway, which
is that like the one on I'm Standing on the Million Knives or something?
are I don't think so. But what is that? What is I'm Sending on a Million Lives about?
It's kind of a uh, isekai, but not in a very traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
They are kind of being pulled from the past to save the future, and they are being leveled on a different world.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of different.
Okay. And then there's All You Need Is Kill. Is one of the other mangas that I've read. You seen that?
I heard of it, but I'm not sure if I've actually seen it.
And they did create a movie out of it starring Tom Cruise and um see it's the title is Edge of Tomorrow. The movie's title is Edge of Tomorrow, but the manga is called All You Need Is Kill. And I think they kind of like deviated a bit with the movie, but what I like about it is that the movie is able to stand alone on its own, and it
Yeah.
didn't perform badly on that end. But yeah, All You Need Is Kill is a pretty good manga as well. It's just one of those really cool. So Keiji is this kid who is being sent to the battlefield to combat aliens, and then he dies, but somehow for some reason he wakes up and the day resets. So he wakes up on the same day that he died, or just the day before he died. And so
Yeah.
he keeps repeating that cycle. And then eventually he met this girl whom they call the Full Metal Bitch. And what she is,
Oh, that's exactly the name.
that is the name of the female. She's called that because she's the only one who has survived all these wars. I mean, not all the wars, but a
Yeah.
lot of fights with the aliens, and they believe that she's their final hope. And it turns out that she has the same condition as he does. So, but she's been at it for a while. She's been she has died and repeated a cycle before he it happened to him. So when I think when they met again, she kind of found out that this is happening to him. So she told him to look for her when he wakes
I
up.
see.
And then they trained together, and that's how they got good. Because
Oh, okay.
eventually what they're using to combat the mimics were artillery weapons. The problem is once you run out of ammo, you're stuck. So you're like just a sitting duck. So
Yeah.
the Full Metal Bee, she uses the ammo, and she uses blades basically. So even though in melee
I
it's more
see.
dangerous because I guess they're really powerful and strong, but
Yeah.
she's able to last longer on the battlefield because she has weapons, and they're kind of like get into these mecha suits to do battle because the aliens are bigger and stronger, and that's the only way they could have a fighting chance.
An edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool to see it in the manga, and the movie just kind of compressed it, but it's still pretty cool the way they did the movie.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, it's not as bad as the other adaptations.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that had a good um adaptation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or inspiration, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. It's rare. One of those rare ones. Let's see. I mean, even if it's not fully like lifted, but just the fact that they were able to use and make it actually a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What other mangas? Hmm.
What else? What else
Underrated.
do you have?
Trying to think of what else there may be. What kind of what genre would you like to see more? I know you like shonen, but if there's another genre, what do you want to see more among us?
Uh, Probably more of a slice of life or a a mix of an action slice of life.
Mm.
If that's a thing. Yeah, or probably any manga that takes time to explore itself.
Yeah,
You know, build a backstory for each of its characters, things like that. Yeah.
yeah. I think I really like mangas that um show like the entire life cycle. Those are rare, I think. Where they show from
Yeah.
teenhood to adulthood to the progression of their character from teens,
Yeah,
adults to
because
death.
most of the anime are shonen, so
Mm-hmm.
it's only focused on the teenage years.
Yeah, yeah. It would be nice to see mangas that actually where the characters actually grow old and
Yeah,
there's development there, and there's sort of like there's a fulfilling factor at the end of it that you know how it ends like fully for a character from I guess. Early
Yeah.
life to death or something. Yeah. I mean, I also,
I think we could.
yeah,
You could only count a few of those series
yeah.
that has a like an actual ending in the end. Yeah.
Have you read one?
What do you mean?
Something like that that has like that explores the life of a character fully, like.
Yeah. Well, Summary X is that actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's separated into different chapters, but
Yeah.
Summary X is, yeah, it explores the before the series story, the series, and then the after,
Yeah.
or until he died, and then yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. One of the reasons I think is
What
I
else?
think Naruto also did
I
that,
think
but yeah, it's still ongoing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, JoJo, I believe, is one of that.
I could not, even with manga, I could not get into JoJo. I'm trying. I think it's a generational
Yeah.
thing.
No, it's just JoJo is not for everyone. Even JoJo fans says that
Okay.
JoJo it's not for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. I think for me, yeah, that would be what I would like to see. What about I think it's funny how sports mangas actually flourish just because of like it's hard to create a story where sports is the focus. So it's usually sports is the secondary and then the focus is on slice of life. The slice of life part.
I don't know. I Shield 21 is really good, by the way.
Which one?
Better, so much better than anime.
Which one is it?
I Shield 21.
You know, I have not. What is it about? I have not read that.
American Soccer.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I don't see a lot of those. But I think there's like every form of sports already out there for manga.
Yeah. So yeah, the writer for I Shield 21 is same writer for Doctor Stone. If you know that one.
I think I've seen like I think I've seen the trailer. Doctor Stone. It's an anime.
Yeah.
Is it good? Like the manga is good.
I mean, it's good, but it's not my cup of tea.
Okay,
You say so. Yeah.
haven't checked that one.
Yeah. It's kind of weird if you start off with the science and then just went with tournament arc in the middle. So
Oh, okay.
it's kind of
It's one of those.
yeah. They try to lure you in with the science, but they cannot keep up. So
That's a hard one to pull.
yeah, they tried. They tried.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's all I have. Not really a lot. Did try to see if there's like other genres out there. Sports, there's always ongoing sports. Shonen, there's always that's always like a bread and butter for manga.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and there's a lot.
School life.
Mm-hmm. So I always have to have some school life. That's always a hit. And there's what else? Like the odds and ends also. So what should we talk about for our next episode? See that we are almost close to an hour.
Um, I don't know, but I will say D&D.
D&D.
Could be anime.
Could be anime. Could be D&D.
Could be a book
Could be
or
a
whatever.
book or a TV show or movie even.
Yeah, I want to talk about TV show, but it's kind of hard to get into at the moment because I don't have the time.
Yeah, that is too. Maybe we could review just the trailers.
Yeah, we can try. We can try.
Okay.
We can try and then let's see how's that. I don't know though. We need some visuals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could do that. We can do that for YouTube, but I'm not sure how to do it on the other video.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. There's also music. Like to talk about the different opening, ending. What?
I don't know.
And it's
My knowledge is not enough to actually break down a song.
that is the last resort. Once we start talking about music, you
Yeah.
know, we're just scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
Yeah.
But if there is anything you guys would like us to talk about, our email is in the description box. So just drop us a message and put your suggestions there, and we'll do our best to like cover it. What else?
Yeah.
It'll be mostly about D&D. At some point, it's gonna become
Probably.
yeah. We're slowly warming up to that side, but yeah.
Yeah. How long till we go back or went back to D&D?
But we thank you for listening to us talk about manga today. If you have a favorite title, let us know. If we missed anything or if we were inaccurate in our descriptions, forgive us. Some of these mangas I have not touched in a while. So, you know, when
It's been a while.
life
Yeah.
happens, but yeah. And as always, have a good day, and we hope to see you again on our next episode. Do we have anybody, sponsors? You know, just letting you know we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. And once again, do you have anything to add before we go? Okay. Same here. Well, you know.
Nope, not at the moment. Waiting for those sponsors.
20, 40, 50, 100 episodes down the line, maybe. If we could keep it up, but yeah, so catch you all next time on Animi's 7th episode. And with that, we bid you goodbye and leave you in awkward silence.